in Victoria, where several emergency level fires are continuing to burn across the state, with residents being warned the danger is a long way from being over. Thousands of firefighters, as well as dozens of helicopters and planes, are battling the blazes across 10 major firegrounds. At least 300 structures have been confirmed to have been lost in the fires. The federal and Victorian governments have announced nearly $20 million in funding for impacted residents.
It provides for individual one-off assistance payments, personal and financial counselling, removal of debris, and ongoing support for state agencies and local councils for counter-disaster operations and restoration of essential public assets. This package of funding will assist primary producers with the extraordinary costs of undertaking immediate and emergency livestock fodder distribution to ensure the humane treatment of stranded livestock.
More than 350,000 hectares have been scorched so far across the state. A total fire ban is in place across Victoria, with some cooler weather expected to provide some relief. Authorities say it'll take days to assess the full extent of the damage from the blazes.
The loss and damage assessment will continue for some days at this point in time. If I just give you one example with the Longwood fire, that fire has a perimeter of over 400 kilometres, with active fires still very much in that landscape. So there are some areas that we've been able to get into and undertake damage assessments, but there are other areas that are still far too dangerous. And that remains the case for a number of fires across the state at this time. I think within the next fortnight we'll have a much clearer picture, particularly in the coming days for some of those fires that I've mentioned we hope to have contained.
All right, well, let's head to southwest Victoria now, where multiple fires are burning in the Otway region after being sparked by lightning on Friday. Our reporter Olivia Sanders joins us now from Colac, nearby that fireground. Hi there, Olivia. So what is the latest where you are today?
Yeah, where I am today, I'm at the Colac Showgrounds, where an emergency relief centre has been set up for evacuees. It was set up yesterday, and it's definitely a lot quieter here today than it was yesterday, but there are still some people floating about, and some horses, chooks, and apparently some rabbits still being housed here as well. Now, there was a community meeting hosted in Colac this morning where the incident controller told everyone that the conditions at the moment look favourable for crews to try and create some strong containment lines around the fires just south of Colac. So conditions can change suddenly. It's still a dynamic situation, but at the moment crews are hoping to do some backburning around the northern and western flanks of the fires to create those strong containment lines. And there is a hope that some of the warnings for the fires will be able to be reduced as that goes ahead.
So, Olivia, what's the key message that authorities are really trying to send to the local community today?
Yeah, so safety is still sort of the biggest one. There's some messaging around which roads are open and the like. So the Great Ocean Road has been reopened. That's for a separate couple of fires that were closer to Apollo Bay. So that was the Great Ocean Road was reopened last night. But the other thing around road safety that I've been told by fire authorities this morning is they really are asking people to heed warnings, road closures, to pay attention to those road closures, to drive safely. There was some reports of maybe people wanting to get a good look at the fires to keep peak and driving as close as they could. But that obviously creates a real headache on the ground for fire crews and safety issues if conditions change quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Good advice, Olivia. Thanks very much for the update.
Thank you.
Now, reporter Tavleen Singh joins us now live from Longwood, where that fire has just had a devastating impact and is still burning. It is one of the major fires of concern for authorities today. Hi there, Tavleen. So the government has this morning announced emergency packages. Just how crucial will those be for these communities?
That's right, Mel, and it's absolutely essential, that announcement earlier today from Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Premier Jacinta Allan, a joint announcement of 19.5 million. That's the initial support package for people impacted by these fires. Like you mentioned right there, this is one of the major fires burning. There's 32 fires active across the state, and this is one of the big ones with an emergency warning still active. In some parts, the firefighters have been able to control it. In some parts, they're still fighting it. It's already claimed more than 140,000 hectares of land. So this money that's coming in to provide emergency relief, to provide accommodation, or just support in terms of those who have lost livestock or have been injured, it is very crucial. We also have seen other firefighters from different states come in. So from New South Wales, more than 200 firefighters, some firefighters from ACT. So, resources are coming in from the rest of Australia to Victoria to support in this crucial time. And this is what Premier Jacinta Allan had to say about how authorities are throwing everything they have at it.
We again have thousands of firefighters on the ground, 70 plus aircraft working on these fires, working around the clock to get these fires under control. We've already seen 350,000 hectares of the state burnt out. That number will increase.
Crucial support coming in, and Mel, right about 40 kilometers from this spot is one of the relief centres, the Seymour Relief Centre. We were there this morning, so people are starting to thin out from there as they head back home to access what the damage has been. But this support is something that we were talking to them, and they are waiting for it, and they are very keen to have it soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Tavleen, you, as you said, have been talking to people in and around Longwood. What is it like on the ground there?
So as you can see probably behind me, there's just scorched earth. The fire went through here and there's a lot of damage. This is just a paddock that I'm in front of, but I've been walking around and talking to people. There's homes that have been lost. One of the homeowners I was talking to, she was just devastated, as you can imagine. She didn't want to come on camera, but she did tell me how hard it was. She had just put up new sheds about 3 weeks before these fires completely burned through her entire house. She has a lot of horses, goats that she was able to take away to a different rescue spot where she is staying. But she came back today and yesterday to see what the damage has been, and it's just shocking the amount of damage this fire has already done. And authorities are telling everyone to be very mindful that this is far from over. There's southerly winds that they are keeping a focus on, and they're looking Euroa onwards on where this fire is tracking. They're also telling people to keep a good eye on the Vic Emergency app. They're saying that that's your best friend if you're around these areas, to keep monitoring those warnings and to look at Vic traffic for what parts of the highway has opened up. The Hume Freeway has started to open up. There's a lot of it that has already been made open to public. That is how people are coming back to see some of these spots. I also saw earlier CFA authorities as well as other emergency services assessing roads, making sure that they are fine before they open it up for people as they head back to see what's left of their homes.